this. Hey guys, Lou here from LT's Custom Woodworks. Welcome to the shop. Today, another day, another dollar, or another dollar spent. Depends on which way you want to look at it. Today, I'm going to be starting a new project. I haven't put up a video for a while now. I think it's been about 3 weeks, maybe a little bit longer. The reason for that is I was sick there for a bit. For a good week, I was sick. 3 days into it, I ended up catching COVID, and I had a hard time there for 2 or 3 days, and now within I think the 4th day I was back in the shop, but I was just mostly doing cleanup. I wasn't in the mood to do any projects or anything like that. But I am supposed to be back in here doing some furniture projects for customers, but I'm gonna stretch it a little bit more longer. I'm gonna push my limits here. There's jigs that I got to build that that I need, that I haven't, done it for years. I've got a new table saw there for the last 4 years now, and I was supposed to do a table saw sled, and I haven't came around to doing it. And that is one of the most essential pieces you need in a shop, and I can't even believe I went this long without it. But I'm not even going to do that today. I'm going to do a jig for my router. I have this old router kicking around that very rare do I ever use this one, and I'm going to dedicate this one to a dado jig that I got to build for my router. And it's a simple project, quick, fast, and easy, and hopefully it all goes well. So I'm going to start ripping. I got 1/4-inch plywood. I got 1/2-inch plywood. I'm going to use 1/2-inch plywood for the base, and then I'll use the 1/4-inch plywood for the top. I'll start by cutting that at 40 inches long, and then I'll cut some strips 2 or 3 inches off the 1/4-inch, and we'll start screwing them together. Now that I have my plywood cut at 40 inches, I'm going to bring this to 3 inches, and I'm going to cut 3 strips at 3 inches. Now that I have my 3-inch strips cut, I'm going to line it up even at the end of this 1/2-inch plywood, and I'm going to screw it down. I'm not going to glue it, because if I ever have to remove it in the future and make adjustments, I can easily do that. Now I should be pre-drilling this and countersinking the screws, but I'm going to see how well this goes. This is pine, so I think we're okay. And this 1/2-inch plywood is maple. Now before I screw this other one down, I'm going to take the router I'm using, and I'm going to put it right up against this 3-inch board. I'll bring it closer to the end. I'm going to bring this one right up against. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tack the one side down for now. And this excess plywood I will cut. We don't need it. That's pretty good. That's really good. I will cut this off now, this excess. And then I'm going to cut 2 pieces to go on each end. Like that. For both sides. Now that I got those cut, and I got these pieces cut, I'm going to screw these down. Now, I will screw them down, but I'm going to remove them in a bit. I'm going to drive 2 screws on each end. Again, this is just to hold it down so I can make my marks and cut this in half. Now on each end, I'm going to mark the center of this bit here, and I'm just going to use the cast body where this pin is here. That's center. I'm just going to mark this as long as this is straight, right up against. I will mark center, and I can double check my measurements. And it is center. I'll do the same thing to the other side, and then I'll draw a line across. I'm going to measure 8 inches up on both ends. Just so we have a rough idea where I'm going with this. I'm going to make about, I'm going to do 3 holes on this one. So I'm going to find, there's a little on the Forstner bit, on the cover of them, there's a little pinhole. I just use that as my center point. And what I'll do is I'm going to bring it in line. Here's the 8 inches. I'll bring this up right to it, give or take. Doesn't got to be perfect. This is basically just going to give you a window to see from. Do the other one on this side. And then I'll do one in the middle. So I'll divide this in half. So I got 20 and a half, give or take. 20 3/8. going to take this over to the table saw and I'm going to cut this directly in half, right down the center of this line, all the way down. I'm going to take the same 3" that I used to go all the way around, and I'm going to cut it to the same length. Squeeze these two together nice and tight, and cut this piece. And these measurements at this is going to be 11 7/8 by 40 inches long. And I'm going to cut 2 pieces, one for each end. On this little small square that I have here, I'm going to measure. This is 3 inches, so I'm going to measure halfway in, that's 3 inches. So I'm going to measure it 1.5 inches. And I'm basically going to go closer to the middle is fine. So I'm going to go 1.5 inches there. And then 1.5 inches here. Just going to double check that. And I think that should be fine. So I will measure the same thing on the other side. Then I'm going to make sure that these are all lined up and tight together. I'm going to bring this board in and I'm going to mark the center of that and I'm going to mark it 1.5 inches in all the way down. I will do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to unscrew this. I'm going to drill a hole for this bolt to fit right through that, in the center of that. Then I will screw it back in, and then I can use, once this is through, I can use this to tighten it down. I will put a 3rd screw in this one now. And I will do the same to this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this right onto that blade and I'm going to route out in between these 2 lines here. And I'm going to do it to this piece and to this piece. I'm basically just going to route out this groove in here. Bring these close together, nice and tight. Make sure it's all nice and even. We're going to lock this tight. I'm going to clamp this down. Same thing to the other side. So I'm going to run my first groove through here, and I'm going to go all the way deep, all the way right through, and you'll see what I mean once and I'll show you how it works once I'm done. Now I'm just going to elevate this so I don't cut into my table. Okay, let's say that you want to put, you're building a cabinet or building a shelf of some sort, and you want to put a dado in here for a shelf to countersink in there. You're going to take your piece. Now I'll just pick a random number off the top of my head here. Let's say you're going to make it at 4 inches and 4 inches on this side. You draw your line where that dado is going to start. You're going to take this piece, you're going to put it underneath. Now I'm just going to set this under here. Now we will be clamping these down. Now what you're going to do, I'm going to bring that camera in a little closer so you can actually see on what's going on here. But if you can see this line that I made on the board, you're going to bring that even with this, because that's where basically the zero clearance for my router bit is. You're going to take your stock piece, whatever thickness that you need, you're going to put it in there and you're going to close these. And you're going to tighten these knobs up. Now you're going to figure out your depth. You want to set your router bit to the depth that you want. And that is it. That is the dado. And this should fit right in here perfectly. And you get a perfect cut every time. If I want to go a wider dado, I just unclamp these knobs, put my stock in, figure out the width, close them, clamp them down, run my router on each side of the fence line, and you're good to go. Quick, fast, and easy. So it's a pretty easy jig to build, and it's very essential to have in the shop. It's a tool that every shop should have, really, if you're doing any kind of dados. Very easy to make. It took about 2 hours max, taking my time. So that pretty much wraps it up for this video. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.